Chris Hemsworth is a prison visionary in the first Spiderhead pictures. Not, as you might think from the title, a crafty Netflix attempt to cash in on the expanding Spiderverse. Spiderhead is, in fact, an intriguing new psychological thriller starring Chris Hemsworth, Miles Teller, and Journey Smollett. Directed by Joseph Kosinski, who, thanks to the release delays for Top Gun, Maverick now has films coming out in consecutive months this year. From a script by Deadpool's Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick, Spiderhead adapts George Saunders' short story. Here's the basics. In a state-of-the-art penitentiary run by brilliant visionary Steve Amnesty, Hemsworth, inmates wear a surgically attached device that administers dosages of mind-altering drugs in exchange for commuted sentences. There are no bars, no cells, or orange jumpsuits. In Spiderhead, incarcerated volunteers are free to be themselves. Until they're not. At times, they're a better version. Need to lighten up? There's a drug for that. At a loss for words? There's a drug for that, too. But when two subjects, Jeff, Teller, and Lizzie, Smollett, form a connection, their path to redemption take a twistier turn, as Amnesty's experiments start to push the limits of free will altogether. Spiderhead will arrive on Netflix on 17th of June. The new Dungeons & Dragons movie is subtitled Honor Among Thieves. Given that the film has been wrapped for a while and the release date is less than a year away, we're surprised we haven't heard much of anything official about Paramount and E1's Dungeons & Dragons movie. Now though, via the official D&D Twitter feed, and the movie's own social media handle, we at least have a title, Dungeons & Dragons, Honor Among Thieves. The film, directed by game night duo Jonathan Goldstein and John Francis Daly, stars Chris Pine, Michelle Rodriguez, Regé-Jean Page, Justice Smith, Sophia Lillis, Chloe Coleman, Daisy Head, and Hugh Grant. As for what it's actually about, given that the original game offers limitless storytelling avenues, that's a little harder to divine since the studio has been keeping the story under wraps, though a filing with the US Copyright Office last year revealed the following: an ex-Harper-turned thief escapes from prison with his partner, a female barbarian, and reunites with a no-talent wizard and a druid new to their team in an effort to rob the cheating conman who stole all their loot from the heist that landed them behind bars, and used it to install himself as the Lord of Neverwinter. Only the traitor is allied with the powerful red wizard who has something far more sinister in store. Have a pinch of salt ready, of course, as it could well have changed by now. Dungeons & Dragons, Honor Among Thieves will venture into cinemas on 3rd of March next year. New Lightyear trailer reveals more about Buzz's adventure. With the movie itself due to hit cinemas in a couple of months, we've reached the point in Disney and Pixar's build-up to Lightyear that they're labeling this latest promo the final trailer. Check out the fresh footage, which explores the film's story further. Being billed definitive origin story of Buzz Lightyear, here voiced by Chris Evans, the hero who inspired the toy. Lightyear follows the legendary space ranger after he's marooned on a hostile planet 4.2 million light-years from Earth alongside his commander and their crew. As Buzz tries to find a way back home through space and time, he's joined by a group of ambitious recruits and his charming robot companion cat, Socks. Complicating matters and threatening the mission is the arrival of Zurg, an imposing presence with an army of ruthless robots and a mysterious agenda. Yes, it appears that the story involves Buzz hurtling forward in time, approximately 60 years, give or take, and meeting young relatives of some of his crew plus a ragtag assortment of prisoners and others. And for all those scratching their heads as to how this exactly connects to Toy Story, picture Lightyear as a Star Wars that exists in that world, the 1970s/1980s sci-fi movie that young Andy saw, a few years after its release and wanted the toy Buzz. Lightyear officially lands, refreshingly in cinemas given Disney's recent plans for Pixar, on 17th of June. Spider-Man, Across the Spider-Verse delayed to June 2023. Bad news for all fans of multiverse-hopping spider adventures. The sequel to the acclaimed Spider-Man, Into the Spider-Verse, called Spider-Man, Across the Spiderverse is being pushed back to next year. It'll now hit cinemas in June 2, 2023. In additional Spiderverse news, the film is also dropping part 1 from its title, but don't get worried thinking that means the second part has somehow been cancelled. Spider-Man, Across the Spiderverse Part 2 is still on the books, and now set to arrive on March 29, 2024. To further quell any panic concerns about production problems, this mostly seems to be Sony reorganizing its release date schedule. The company has announced a few titles, including fellow Spider project Madam Web, starring Dakota Johnson, which will dangle onto screens on July 7 next year, big summer for arachnid action. And then there's the third Equalizer movie. Following word of Denzel Washington and director Antoine Fuqua gearing back up for the return of Robert McCall, the movie has an official date of September 1, 2023.